Hi, welcome to Create Pretty Things. Happy Saturday to you. Have you had a great weekend so far? I hope so. Tonight we have this really bright colored pillowcase. It's kind of a cottony fabric and it has a zipper on the side. It is an 18 by 18. We also have this transfer here that has two different sayings on it. One is vacation and one is homebody and their definitions. And tonight we are going to use the one that says vacation. So I'm just going to cut these right through the backer and the transfer. I want to get out my marker and just kind of mark the back side so that I know which one's the back when I go to put my transfer away. And we are going to set aside the one that says homebody because we're not going to use it. Now, since we are inking tonight, there's a couple different things that we need to do. First of all, we need to decide where we're going to put the definition on. So we can do it orange or pink side. I think I'm going to put it right down here on the pink part of this. When you ink, you need to have an ink mat. This is our ink mat. We have two different sizes. One's tall and thin. The other one's more of a square. It comes with this protective cover. Peel that off. And it is sticky. Sticky is good. We're going to go ahead and place this right inside our pillow cover. I didn't think about the zipper being here, but it will work out. Now, the purpose of the ink mat is to keep your fabric in place, and it's also to prevent the ink from going through to the next, the lower surfaces, anything below. So it is a barrier. I am just going to smooth this on over the ink mat. The wrinkles will kind of resolve themselves because they are stuck to the mat. And my mat is in a little crooked, but that's because of the zipper. So I am just going to go ahead and take a look at the bottom when I center. And I'm going to go ahead and peel off my sticky transfer from the protective backer sheet. And I am just going to apply it where I want this phrase to go. Now I don't want it, I do want it straight though. I didn't really want it centered. I wanted it all over to the side a little bit. I'm going to smooth this on. The transfers have a silk screen in them. And you want all the area around the silk screen to be stuck down really good so that you don't get any bleeding. I was between three colors, guys. I was between this beautiful bumblebee yellow or the Chuck Couture teal or the bright white. The most boring one is the bright white, but that's what I'm going to use tonight, guys. This ink is permanent. So once you heat set it, it will be permanent on your fabric. It won't wash out. So we want to be careful about where we place the ink, not drop it any place we don't want it, and to keep our hands clean or else clean them afterwards. So this is what it looks like. It looks just like our paste. It's an ink, paste in ink form. I'm going to get just a little bit on my squeegee, and I'm going to start. One thing about these transfers, these newer ones, this little word right here, the copyright information, is silkscreen. I don't want that on my pillow, so I'm going to make sure I don't ink there. But I'm going to start off to the side and just smooth my ink over the transfer, covering up all the silkscreen. Now, I do want really good coverage. Most of the time with paste, we will go ahead and take off the top layer. But I want this to be a little thicker because I want it to be a real bright contrast to the hot pink. So I'm going to do it a little thicker than I normally would. And if you guys have used the paste before, it's the same exact process with the ink, except the ink glides a little easier and dries a little slower. But as far as the application, it's just the same. So I've got a pretty thick application on my silkscreen. I'm going to go over it just lightly to barely take off some of that ink. That T doesn't have good coverage. So what I do want it to be kind of thicker because I want it to stand out. But that means it's going to take a little bit more to dry it too. Okay, so I've evened it out. It looks pretty good. I'm going to put my ink, my extra pink ink back in the jar so that I'm not wasting anything. And I'm going to cap it up because I don't want to get that ink anywhere but where it is right now. Check my hands. They look like they're good. I'm going to go ahead and peel off this transfer and we'll see what it looks like. I'm going slow because if there's anything I don't like, I can put it back down and go over it again. It looks good, guys. It looks good. This is where I get in trouble. I put it somewhere close to me and then I get ink on everything else. So what I'm going to do is really, really focus on putting this way out of the way so I don't get that ink on anything. And I'm going to go ahead and dry it a little bit. Now, what they recommend with ink is letting it sit overnight and drying naturally and then heat setting it the next day. I want to kind of finish this project today. So I'm going to go ahead and dry it with either my heat tool or this gun here. Now this is hot and I really don't want to scorch. I'm going to leave my mat in there just for a few seconds. I don't want to harm my mat. So I'm going to go on really low and I'm going to kind of stay away from it. I've been using my low temp heat gun, my heat set tool, quick dry tool it's called. But I feel like it hasn't dried it enough, even though I've really spent some time on it. And then when I go to heat set it, it's not dry enough and the ink comes off on the parchment paper. So I'm hoping to avoid that. I did an ink project earlier this week, and instead of rushing it, I let it dry overnight, and it did still come off. So either I'm putting too much paste on, or not doing something right. So I thought I would just start this off with this heat gun that's a little bit warmer, but it is warm. And you're really supposed to take your ink mat out when you're trying to dry it. There we go. But I just have a habit of messing things up at the last minute. So I'm just going to leave that in here. I did switch to my quick dry tool. This is it's warm and it blows pretty good, but it's not going to melt that ink mat inside. So this sign, the definition of vacation, says something the person reading this needs right now, and 2, always over too soon. Do you guys feel like your vacations are always over too soon, too quickly? It's time to go home. Then it's a quick rush to get everything ready for the next day for work, and you feel like you need a day off just from your vacation? Yeah, they do run by pretty quickly. Really quickly. Have you guys planned your vacations yet for this year? I have not, but I'm sure I'll go on a couple short ones. I normally go on really short, quick vacations, like a long weekend. This isn't quite dry yet, but I did want to go ahead and take that mat out a little bit. Very carefully, I'm going to unstick it, take my ink mat out, and it doesn't look like the ink went through. Sometimes you'll see ink on your mat, and you can just clean it with either a wet wipe or some kind of water, something wet, just wipe it down. But I wanted just to get that out so I can really focus on drying this before I heat set it. So tonight when I heat set, I normally use my big, Cricut Easy Press, but I have my little one out. I did a project last night with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this on medium. I'll turn on high, and I'm going to start that heating up a little bit, and I'm going to use that tonight. Now, when this is no longer tacky, you will be ready to go ahead and heat set it with your heat source. If you don't have a easy press, a heat press type thing, you can use a regular household iron. It's just going to have to be on probably a medium heat, and it's going to take you longer, and you are going to make sure it doesn't have any water coming out, so make sure the steam setting is off, and that way you can use it. Still a little tacky on the vacation. I did put this on really thick, so I'm just going to really blow over it, see what I can do. That's feeling pretty good. It's almost ready to be heat set. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my heat gun, and I'm going to go ahead and place my heat resistant pad. Whoops, just turned off my easy press. This is like a pressing pad. It's got a heat resistant side. I'm going to put it inside my pillowcase cover and just kind of center that. And I am going to get my parchment paper. You always want to cover with parchment paper. Where's the cover? Okay, and my heat press just turned off because it's ready. So I'm going to lay my parchment paper over this. And normally I would just lay my heat press on and leave it for 30 seconds. But since this is a smaller one, I'm going to go ahead and move it over the whole definition and just keep going until I feel like it's done. Probably about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, since I'm going back and forth. But this is kind of the same technique you would use if you were using a household iron. You would put it on a medium setting and just go over it back and forth until you feel like it's set. Now, I do have this on a high heat, and I was just kind of wondering about whether this is too high of a heat. But I'm not seeing any color changes on my pink, so I think it's going to be okay. Now, when I lift this, the parchment paper up after it's heat set, it really should not stick, and I know it's going to. And when it sticks, it means it's going to take a little bit of that ink with it, which is going to decrease the vibrancy of your project. But I think we're almost done here, and we're ready to check it out. Okay. So I'm going to peel this off. And it is sticking a little bit. It is pulling some of the ink off. So do you see the ink a little bit on here? You really don't want that to happen, and it's been happening to me a lot lately. So I think I'm just going to go back to letting it sit overnight. And since I have ink on this, I'm not going to want to use this again unless I fold it over and make sure there's no ink that's going to transfer. But this is set. It looks great. You guys want to see it? Look at it. Isn't that great? I love the colors. I did dip the corner of this in some water, so if you see water, that's what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and flip this inside out because you want to heat set both sides. And I'm going to put my heat press in my heating pad inside. And I'm also going to put, I don't think you have to do this, but I do because I don't want any ink on my heat pad. So I actually put it inside again, so I don't have any transfer of ink. And I did fold it in half so that I'm not getting any ink on the areas that I don't want ink. So once again, it's about 30 seconds. I'm moving it back and forth because this is a smaller heat press. Also because I'm not sure how sensitive this fabric is to the heat of this iron. So I'm just going to go for a couple more seconds. Turn off my heat press. Take out my pad and my heat pad and the parchment paper. Flip it inside out. And here it is. I'm going to stick a pillow form in here in just a second, but there's a couple things that I want to show you. Look how cute that is. One is when you're done with your ink mat, you want to cover it back up with its protective cover because it will get whatever's in the air, the dust, the dog hair, anything on it. It'll make it less sticky. You also want to make sure that this label is visible to you so that you can read it, because there is a right side and a wrong side to this protective cover. I just smooth it down and then I put it in a place where I can find it again. Next thing I wanted to show you is how to clean these transfers. Now, normally I would spray this with water immediately after I take it off my project. But since I've been kind of dangerous with the ink lately and getting it places where I don't want it to be, I want just to kind of get through that process. So I've got a paper towel, and look how that ink is coming right off. Beautiful. Then I take what's called my board eraser. Now this is like a magic eraser sponge. This one's very dirty. It's been used a lot, but it gets all that ink and paste out of your silk screen, and that's where you want to get it out of. The silk screen is where the paste goes through. You want to clean both sides of your transfer. Go a little easy on the sticky side. And then I like to dry it, but, oh yeah, here's one. I was going to say, I just used my last paper towel, but I do have some here. So I'm going to dry it. I'm going to go over the sticky side pretty quickly because the sticky comes back as it dries. So we don't want to get paper towel stuck to it. So I'm going to dry both sides. This does get a little bit of residual paste or ink out of it. I am going to get the backer that it came on. This one, and remember, I marked the back so I knew which one was the right side and wrong side. Really, you're putting the shiny side to the sticky side. But with these new transfers, both sides are shiny, but there really is a right side, wrong side. Sometimes you can look at the shiny side and see an imprint or shadow of what the design was, and I'm not seeing it on this, so it's a good thing. So I'm going to put my transfer sticky side up. I'm going to put the right side of the transfer, meaning the front side, right over my transfer, and I'm going to smooth it down to make sure that it's got good connection to the backer, and that way it's protected. I didn't tell you guys, but these are reusable between 8 and 12 times, so it's a good idea. You want to keep these clean, you want to store them properly. I'm going to stick this back in the sleeve that it came in. Was this the bag? Yes. So I'm going to stick it back in this bag. Now, I do have some magnets stuck on this. This folds over and it's sticky. So to get it back in, it might be a little tricky. So I just fold the sticky part in, and I put my transfer in. And I'm not sure where my other, oh, there it is. This is the definition we did not use. I store them back in here together. And then I go ahead, whoops, I like to put them so I can see the transfer. And then I just unfold the sticky part, the sticky flap. and I fold it back over. And this is good to go. I store it like that. Okay, so we've got our transfer cleaned. We've got our pillow inked. So all we need to do is insert the pillow form. And this is still wet. Now I got this pillow form at Walmart, but it wasn't with the pillows. It was with the craft supply. So it was over by the fabric, because it is called a crafter's pillow form. So I'm just going to go ahead, and it is an 18-inch by 18-inch. The keyword tonight, if you guys want to know the products that I used, is vacation. So type in the word vacation if you want to know where I got the products, what the products are. The pre-built shopping list will appear, but you can change that to anything you want. You just take a look and not buy if you want. And also our club, the new month is coming up. So our club couture transfer of the month is going to change on the first day of the month. So if you're interested in getting this month's club couture transfer, which is this Farm Fresh Organic, go ahead and think about joining the club. Read up on club. Type in club in the comments and you'll get a link to read up on club. See if that's something you want to do. It's a DIY club once a month. Oh, guys, look at that. What do you guys think? Do you love it? If you love it, give it a heart. I love it. I wonder if it'd be good to do this one on this side and maybe on the other side do the homebody one, because I'm kind of a homebody, but I do love my vacations. Maybe we could do two. Anyway, this is ready to be washed in the machine if it needs it. It's permanent. It won't come off. It's good to go. So that's the beauty of our ink products. If you have any questions, please drop a comment, a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you like this. Feel free to share if you know of anyone that would like it. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.